Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid, and welcome to, I don't know, some setup that I'm going to try out this time around. Something a little bit different. I have issue number 34 of Transformers, you see here, and it features Optimus Prime. Now, I thought issue 33 and 34 were kind of strange, completely out of context. So I did some searching on Wikipedia. Apparently, 33 and 34 are actually from the UK, and they are part of the UK version of Transformers, where they told the stories in much smaller chunks. So issues 9, 10, 11, and 12 make up issue 33 and 34. So we will continue on with the storyline called Man of Iron. So we're on part 3 of Man of Iron, and here we've got Jazz riding through the countryside with Sammy, Sammy, what's his name? Harker, Sammy Harker. And so he's riding along with Sammy Harker. He abducted him. I found that whole part of this very, very creepy. I'm not going to lie. I thought this was just a crazy, creepy thing. And so Jazz is driving Sammy through the woods and through the countryside there, and he's saying, "Don't worry, Sammy, I'm not going to hurt you. There's something I want to tell you, and there's something I want you to tell me. I'm taking you to meet some of my friends." Creepy. Maybe it's in the context of a 2017 mind looking at 1987, but that's just creepy. And the artwork was a little strange too. Looking again in Wikipedia, all the artists had to go on were the toys, as for transformations and things like that. So this totally falls into a completely different context, and it was much harsher carnage and destruction in these comics, as we'll see. So as they're riding along, Sammy asks him, "Oh, you have friends?" He says, "Yes, I have many friends, and maybe you've seen some of them." And along there is Mirage, and Mirage transforms, and he joins a little caravan that's going along. And they also meet up with Trailbreaker. So Trailbreaker you didn't see in the previous issue at all, but he joins up with them. And then we get Thundercracker following along. So all that stuff that I said about Thundercracker and Starscream and all those guys being in the Ark, well, they still are in the American continuity, but they're not in the UK continuity. So Thundercracker, he fires and essentially blasts the lower half of Trailbreaker to smithereens. I mean, Trailbreaker, he's essentially dead. He says, "I hear you, Jazz. It's no good. Everything gone. Just plain ruined." And as he sits there on his knees, his legs have been blown apart. There's puddles of energon. He's about dead. Thundercracker continues to follow Mirage and Jazz, and as he does, Mirage disappears, and it allows Thundercracker to get a little bit screwed up, and he ends up smashing directly through a bridge. So he smashes directly through this bridge. It looks like parts of him are shattered. There's an explosion. There's fire, and then in the next scene, he looks pretty well fine. And they say, it's a head-on attack, and see, doesn't he look fine? And he shoots, and Sammy grabs the wheel and moves Jazz out of the way, purely in his own self-interest. He didn't want to die. And, Jazz says, "Well done, Sammy, you saved me." He said, "You? It wasn't you I was thinking about, Jazz, it was me." And they continue on, and as they continue on, another car goes by on an overpass, and it is Bluestreak, and Bluestreak transforms, takes aim, and obliterates Thundercracker. I mean, he obliterates him. At least I think it's Thundercracker. When we look on this screen, this page here, it looks a little purple, but then of course the colors on this one are a little bit off. They didn't really get it too well. And yeah, so crashes to the ground, and that's it. Bluestreak is like, "All right, I'm done. You guys continue on." Bluestreak out. Jazz and Mirage and Sammy continue on after all that excitement, Sammy starts to fall asleep. Jazz has him wake up, and he's like, Sammy's like, I'm cold. He says, sorry, there's no time to pack a suitcase. We only have a short walk, and you'll be warm again. And, he's like, they start walking. They get to a spaceship. And when we get to the spaceship, Jazz tells him that it's a shuttlecraft, and he calls into the shuttlecraft. Now, this is definitely more military feel to it than the other Transformers comics, where it says, Autobot Jazz to Autobot leader, approaching shuttle with surveillance subject, request permission to board. It's all, very, very military-like. And inside the shuttle, machinery comes to life, and we get Optimus Prime coming out. And Optimus Prime's like, glad to see you, Jazz. Oh, welcome back, Jazz. Bring the human inside, will you? So they, here he is. He takes this kid from his home and brings him to the Autobot base. And what he wants to ask him about is about that picture that we saw in the previous issue of the Man of Iron. He wants to know what Sammy knows about that. And what Sammy knows about that is that, first thing, his dad says that the Man of Iron's been around since around the castle since historic times. He's kind of a legend, and he says he looks a little bit like you. And and Jazz says, well, maybe that's because he comes from the same place. And Optimus explains that we are Autobots, Sammy. We come from the planet Cybertron. We are stranded here on Earth. And honestly, can Optimus look any more menacing in that picture? Honestly, if there was this kid, I would have nightmares. So, they came to England because they were picking up a signal from whatever's going on under Stancham. So that under that castle. So he said the signal's in their language, and Sam's like, oh, underneath the castle, the guys are, they're trying to excavate whatever's underneath the castle, and Optimus says, they mustn't find it. If they do that, the Decepticons, they'll destroy the craft, the castle, the village, everything. They're going to destroy everything that comes along. So, Jazz says that the Decepticons have dropped a probe beneath the castle. They suspect something is buried there. That probe must not work that great, because if the humans have found it already and identified it as a giant spacecraft the size of an ocean liner, I would think that probe would have found something, but whatever. We get to the conclusion of Man of Iron. So the last chapter of Man of Iron, they have excavated part of the ship, which is directly under the hill right next to the castle. So that part of it that's right next to the hill, you can see in that part right there. So it's kind of shiny, and it has an Autobot symbol on it. We catch up with Roy Harker, who is Sammy's dad, and he's finding out, he's thinking back on how Sammy was abducted, and now they have an identified spacecraft under the there's an unidentified aircraft attacked the castle. They dropped bombs on it, and now part of the motorway was closed down based on a bizarre, savage battle involving aircraft and vehicles. And now this aircraft, or this spacecraft found underneath the castle. He just start to wonder, like, what else is going to happen next. And then the ground starts to rumble, and the tremor starts, and everybody runs away. And we see from the ground, like, a hatch open, and a pedestal comes up, and there is the Man of Iron. And the Man of Iron comes up, and everybody just runs away. And as they're running away, another military guy comes through. I think it's Major Dawes. I don't know who that is. So Major Dawes comes the other way, and he's yelling, "Good gravy!" And the Man of Iron just blasts their Jeep, and luckily they get away. And then one of the guys sees that there is another robot, and who we see, and we can definitely identify the other robot as Starscream. So there's Starscream, and Starscream blasts the Man of Iron, blasts off his leg, and then hits him with another bomb and blasts him to pieces. Man of Iron is now dead. A shuttlecraft comes streaking along, heading its way towards the castle. See that large shuttlecraft there? Heading along the road. And then we get Jazz and he's driving along with Sammy, and he basically tells him, hey kid, tuck and roll, and he continues on, jumps over a hill, smashes Starscream right in the chest, and Sammy tells all the people, you gotta get out of here, you know, it's not safe, and a battle ensues. Some more Decepticons come swooping in from the sky. There's Laserbeak, and Laserbeak, for his troubles, gets blasted by a cannon from the shuttlecraft, and Laserbeak's taken out. We get additional fighting. Another one of the Seekers gets blasted. We're down to Buzzsaw and 2 Seekers fighting against the shuttlecraft. They're attacking it. People are getting killed and dropped to the ground. Some of the robots are getting killed, and eventually the Decepticons give up and fly away. Optimus and Jazz now land the craft, the shuttle, and basically they're going to go to the aircraft that they found under the hill, and they're talking about the aircraft under the hill. And Optimus says the Decepticons would overrun the planet if they were left unchecked, and so we cannot leave. Nor can we leave the rescue ship intact. We have but no choice to destroy it. No choice? What do you mean they have no choice but destroy it? Why don't you open it up, see if it still flies? Why don't you fly it out to the other side of the moon or something like that? Turn it off, leave it out there, and that way you can always get back to it. The minute that shuttlecraft has the ability to get to the moon and back, who knows? But seriously, destroy the whole thing? That makes no sense. Before you even explore it, before you see if there's anything inside of it, we're going to destroy the thing. And come to find out, there's an Autobot in there. And that Autobot is waiting. He's the pilot. He's waiting for his instructions to be woken up from stasis so that he can save and, so he can rescue the rest of the Autobots. That's his mission. But instead, Jazz loads up his, he loads up his gun, and he vaporizes the entire, he vaporizes the entire spaceship. Boom, gone, one shot. Where was this firepower? I mean, he's got that ability to blow up a spaceship the size of an ocean liner, and has trouble with some Decepticons. It makes no sense. And it made no sense that they blew it up. They essentially murdered the Autobot that was inside without even checking to see what was inside of the spacecraft. They just assumed that it was this other robot. They didn't even check whatsoever. It makes no sense. So to finish everything up, I guess, a nameless authorities, trucks came in and all traces of the aircraft and its final resting place were obliterated. Summer came around again. Tourists descended, attracted by stories of UFOs and mysterious sightings. They found only an empty ruin, echoing with memories. Autumn came, leaves fell. Sammy was a year older, a year wiser. He never saw Jazz again. But this is the chilling part. But on clear, sharp nights, when stars glittered like needles, and the night winds rattled his window, then he slept in fitful, fearful sleep, and the Man of Iron walked once more through his dreams. Fitful, fearful sleep. The kid had nightmares for the rest of his life. Nightmares for the rest of his life because of these Autobots. Because Creeper Jazz came and abducted him and involved him in what was going on there. I don't get it. I didn't read any of the UK stuff. Maybe some of the later things with Death's Head and characters like that. But yeesh, this is rough stuff. I mean, this is again, nightmare fuel for the kid. Anyway, it's True Bennett from Big Damn Kid. You can find me at BigDamnKid.com. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Big Damn Kid. You can always find me here. I'd love it if you subscribe, or if you leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. What do you think of the new setup, the new format? Is that working for you? And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.